Good morning everyone! No, forget this, I'm going home. Good morning, welcome back to Slick's Car Care. It's grim, it's cold. Let's get on with it. Right, so this week, you can't even see it, we've got a Porsche 911 here. To be honest with you, I'm not going to stand outside here and waffle through what we're going to do. We're going to get it washed, get it inside, and then I'm going to run you through what we're doing. Thank God that's over. We're in the unit now, 24 degrees, it's lovely. So before I start today's video, I want to thank all of our new subscribers who are new to the channel. In a week we've gained over 1,000 times our subscribers by like 10 times, which is ridiculous, so thank you all very much. But yeah, moving on to this. This is probably one of the biggest details, if not the biggest, that we've done to date. We've had this car ready for a few weeks. It's been off to the body shop. We've sent it to NH Performance in Loughborough, which, if you're local to Loughborough or Leicester, is the only place I would send any of my high-end cars to. Not that I've got high-end cars, but it's where I send my customers anyway. So yeah, we've had the rear quarters painted and the front bumper done. And also the wing mirrors as well. So now it's back from there, it's spent a little bit of time cured and we can start work on it. The next thing we need to do is whip the wheels off. These are being refurbed. We've got a two-stage paint correction to do. We're doing 5 layers of ceramic pro 9H and 1 layer of top coat on the paint. We're coating the glass, we're coating the calipers, cleaning and coating the arches and suspension components, coating all the exterior plastics, refurbishing the headlights, refurbishing all the leather on the interior, protecting the interior, restoring the exhaust tips, doing it. Honestly, the list goes on and on and on. It's going to be a 5-day project at a very minimum. So yeah, stay tuned, there's going to be loads to watch, and let's get on with it. So even though we gave all of this a very good thorough cleaning outside, it's almost impossible to get it looking good without getting the wheel off. So now it's inside, we're going to use some APC and other cleaning methods, including steam. We're going to try and clean up all the suspension components, the brake calipers. We'll be painting these after everything's cleaned up and masked off. Obviously get the arch liners looking good, just generally just really tidy this up, and then that's it, ready for protection. So we'll get this done using all of these methods. We've got so much to do on here, look, it's all properly stubborn, horrible dirt that's built up over time because these areas of the car so rarely get done. Absolutely caked in tar on this area here, as it's to be expected. But yeah, after this is done, it should look really smart. Joe, you can't smoke in here, lad. Now this is what we call a clean arch. The plastic still needs dressing, but all the suspension components, even the back box that's in the rear wheel arch has been polished. The caliper's all cleaned up and degreased, so that is ready for coatings. Obviously we want to preserve that finish, and that's why we ceramic coat these areas once they're cleaned up like this, to make them easier to maintain this sort of finish, and also it protects the underbody as well from kind of rust and other corrosion. So that is the discs masked off. We're only aiming to paint the outside here that's visible when the wheel is fitted, and then we're going to be sanding off the face again just to make sure that the wheel sits correctly. We've got the caliper masked off, obviously the braking face on the disc masked off, to make sure that we're not going to do any harm to the braking systems. So yeah, they can be primed and then be painted first thing tomorrow morning. Here we go, so the primer on the disc is now dry, so we can lay on some silver. Time for a second coat. Now for number 3. So that's the hubs now painted and the masking removed. These are looking ace. I'm really happy with how these have turned out. The next thing we can turn our attention to is the paintwork. We've already made a start on this. I've polished the wing, which has come out really nicely. I've polished half the bonnet. Now I'm waiting for Rob from Auto Dents to come round and sort out this lovely outward dent that we've got here. Don't know if you can catch that. This is obviously caused because the battery is located directly underneath that area of the bonnet. One of the terminals has been removed, the bonnet's been shut, and that's caused that to poke upwards and out. So hopefully Rob can sort that out nice and swiftly and we can crack on with the bonnet. Rob has fully knocked this out of the park. You cannot tell where it is. Yeah, well happy with that. Looks... Oh, well, to be honest with you, I can't even see the dent at all anymore. He reckoned there was still a tiny, a tiny imperfection, but I can't see it. So, nice one, Rob. So now we can crack on with the polishing over the bonnet. So you can see here the sort of thing that we're having to deal with. It's requiring some kind of heavy cut, but what we're getting on this, the paint isn't actually too bad to correct, but we're suffering with something called sticky paint, which is basically making my job a pain in the arse, because what it does is causes all the polish to clump up and dry out very quickly and start flicking all over the car, which makes a right mess. So we need to try and adapt the polish reason, not necessarily to get better cut, because we're happy with the cut level we're achieving, but just to make the whole process a bit cleaner and less of a ball ache, really. So on this we're using the Lake Country wool pad with the Blue Roops coarse compound. So that's the new Blue Roops coarse compound, which have been lent by Toby from New Look Detailing. This is much more oily and is actually cutting through this really, really well. So let's get on with the rest of the bonnet. Now that is what we call perfect paint. We have removed nearly every single scratch. I think there's 1 or 2 deeper marks I just don't want to chase out because I don't want to remove too much lacquer, but it's looking almost flawless, just like the Saab in the last episode. This is a 2004 vehicle, so it's only got 40,000 miles on it, and I've done a paint depth reading and it looks like this is the original paint, and it's just coming up incredibly well. Obviously we managed to get around the paint being sticky by using a different compound which has more oils in, and yeah, I'm really, really, really pleased with the results. It's looking stunning. Imagine what it's going to look like refined as well. Unreal. And even right up to the edges of the badge as well. Right, so we're just finishing off for the day, and we've got a nasty little scrape on the passenger wing and just going onto the door as well. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to touch it in with a little bit of paint that the body shop has supplied, and then leave that to dry overnight, then try sanding it back and polishing it back up. We just want to see how well we can tidy it up, really, make it a lot less noticeable. We're not aiming for full-on perfection, otherwise we would have got it painted when we got the other panels painted on the car with Nigel at NH Performance. But so yeah, we're going to see how well we can tidy this mark up. So as always, it looks worse before it looks better. We have filled in the areas that had no colour. We'll be leaving this overnight to dry and then sanding it back tomorrow and polishing it up, and hopefully it will be 90% less visible is what I'm going to aim for. So fingers crossed it turns out that well. If not, it's not the end of the world to remove if it just turns out to be a horrible mess. Right, time for an update. The touch-in is done to, I think, a kind of 90% standard. It's really took your eye off it. You can hardly catch it now, so I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but it is a touch-in at the end of the day, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. We've polished the front end, so the bonnet, wings, bumper, roof, A-pillars, doors, rear quarter, the engine cover, the tail lights on this side, and also half of the, not even sure what to call this, but yeah, I wanted to show you a quick 50-50 of what we've done on this kind of rear light section here. So just to show you quickly the rear lights, we've cut on the right and done a nice little 50-50 for you. So as we come over this line here, you can see instantly, look at that. Okay, so now all of the cutting is done on the Porsche. So now we're going to step straight to the refining stage and try and get all 5 layers of Ceramic Pro 9H on it today. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze, but we've got a deadline to reach, so we've got to try and push to get this done now. But yeah, we can crack on with the refining now. Okay, here's where we're up to. The Porsche is now refined and wearing 5 coats of Ceramic Pro 9H on every panel, but this wing, this door, this wing mirror and this rear quarter, because I wanted to show you how I did it. We do this a little bit different to if we're just doing 1 coat. So what we'll do is we'll layer on the first coat on the wing, then we'll do the door, the rear quarter, obviously the wing mirror in there somewhere as well, then we'll go back to the wing, relayer on there and keep working like that until we've done it 5 times. And on the 5th one, so we'll put it on the wing, take it off the wing, put it on the door, take it off the door, put it on the rear quarter, take it off the rear quarter. And that way we're using 1 layer to take off the previous one, if that makes any sense. So we're building the layer up, obviously to make a thicker coating, which is going to be more effective, more durable, etc. So I'll show you how it's done now on this side, and then that'll be the whole car coated in 9H. Before I forget as well, we've also had the wheels back from the wheel specialist. They've refurbed all 4, powder coated them, balanced them, refitted the tyres, and they are looking stunning, ready to be coated and go back on the car. Okay, update. The Porsche is wearing all 5 layers of Ceramic Pro 9H. The wheels are back from the wheel specialist. They're looking immaculate. They're now coated with Ceramic Pro wheel and caliper, and also the wheel arches, don't know how well you can see this, are also coated as well with Ceramic Pro Strong, so they're looking tip top. The next job is coating the glass and also coating the exterior plastic, so your splitters and your vents and things like that, and then we can spray on ceramic Pro top coat, and that's the exterior of the car finished. Then we've got to turn our attention to the interior and do all the leather repairs and leather protection and carpet protection and plastic protection and protection on protection on protection on protection, 3-stage correction. Okay, so that is the paintwork finished. It's got 6 layers of coating on the paintwork. The calipers are coated, the wheels are coated, the wheel arch lines are coated, the glass is coated. Next, I want to turn my attention to the interior and the leather repairs we've got in there. So when we dropped the car off to the body shop, we took off this piece of trim on the armrest here to send off to London for colour match, and we can now use this to restore this bolster. We've got a little bit of damage in here and just general wear and tear all over the interior surfaces. So the first one we're going to do is the bolster. So the first job on that is sanding it, so let's get on with that. So we're going to have to repair pretty much most of this door card apart from the airbag and the outer trim. So we've sanded all of that. We've sanded the bolster, we've sanded the interior trim here, we've sanded the airbag cover on the dash, and I'm sure we're going to find more to do. It's just finding kind of a fair point to draw the line where the whole interior is looking, you know, consistently good. But I think it's going to be impossible to achieve perfection on this one without removing everything and you know, doing it all out of the car. So we've got to find somewhere to draw the line, but we're going to try and improve the overall finish on the interior massively. So here is where we're up to on the interior. We have redone the airbag cover, a trim in the middle here. We've done this section around this lock for the armrest. We've done a section at the back here. We've done the driver's bolster, the driver's door card. We've done some touching work around where the ignition is, and also a bunch of other little tiny touch-ins. One of the things with leather repairs is you don't want to make the leather look too good, because if we refurbished this bolster and took out all these creases, it wouldn't be in fitting with this one, and you don't want to make it look brand new because it will just stand out like a sore thumb. So we want to try and repair the damage on there whilst keeping it in fitting with the rest of the interior. That is how you make an invisible leather repair. Wow, what a week. I'm glad to say we are finally done on the Porsche. I'm not going to run you through what I've done because you've watched it all, but all I'm going to say is I'm really glad with how it's turned out. It couldn't have gone much better, to be honest with you, and I'm looking forward to dropping it back to the customer tomorrow. Now what I'm going to do is clean up the unit, do some outro shots for you guys. If you enjoyed this week's video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit a like and type a little comment as well. It all helps. But yeah, thank you very much for watching yet again, and we shall catch you next time.